Trump's on a bit of a losing streak this week in federal courts, from Tennessee to Florida to the District of Columbia and everywhere in between. And latest in breaking news, Judge Cooper, an Obama appointee, has decided he's going to permanently block Donald Trump from placing his name anywhere on or near or around the Kennedy Center because it violates the quote-unquote organic statute established by Congress in the aftermath of the assassination of JFK as the only living memorial to JFK in Washington, D.C. That is a permanent block. He's also decided to permanently block Donald Trump's hand-picked Board of Trustees from icing Congresswoman Beatty from her participation in any decision-making. She's an ex officio member. They decided they were going to change the rules in the middle of the game and not allow ex officio members to vote. In fact, according to the judge and the record, they muted her. They put her on mute so she couldn't talk when she objected to the tear down of the Kennedy Center, the renaming of the Kennedy Center, and the rest. The judge says, wait a minute. She is a trustee. She has fiduciary duties to the public. You, board, have fiduciary duties to the public, and it looks like you violated them. So he's permanently blocking, requiring that they let her vote and let her be heard. And thirdly, his new order for now preliminarily blocks or enjoins the shutdown of the Kennedy Center scheduled for July. The judge, in fact, found that the trustees were derelict in their duty to shut down the Kennedy Center without trying to figure out if there were least costly alternatives to allow the programming to continue at the Kennedy Center while the needed repairs, people concede this place needs repairs, are done. In other words, did you properly exercise your trustee powers in the interest of the public to decide whether remediation and repair could happen while the Kennedy Center was open? Now, we all know the reason Donald Trump wanted to shut down the Kennedy Center, because he doesn't like the fact that real artists and musicians and others and performers don't want to perform at the Kennedy Center while his name has scarred its surface. And so to avoid the embarrassment of having nobody but like Lee Greenwood show up for an extended stay, like I guess Lee Greenwood was planning to be like the Billy Joel of Madison Square Garden of the Kennedy Center and just perform every week. To avoid that, Trump had his handpicked minions, including the wives of Howard Lutnick and J.D. Vance's wife, vote to shut it down. Why? We don't need it for the next 2 years. Let's just shut it down, and I won't have to be embarrassed. And the judge says, yeah, you can't do that. That's a dereliction of your trustee position. What I love about Judge Cooper, many things, but one of them is he uses the words of John F. Kennedy himself to prove his point throughout his 93-page decision, which we have for you. We have the receipts up on Substack for Legal AF as well. I'm Michael Popok. You're on MeidasTouch and Legal AF. Take a minute, hit the free subscribe button as we continue to grow our pro-democracy channel. Let's start with the issue. Joyce Beatty, who is a congresswoman, who is the sole plaintiff here, when she got shut out and shut down, she ran to court. Judge already determined she had standing to bring the case to stop the desecration of the Kennedy Center. And in fact, if you don't remember her, well, let's play a clip to remind you of who we're talking about and who's the rightful keeper of the flame of the memory of John F. Kennedy. Let's play the clip.
I'm Congresswoman Joyce Beatty. I'm sitting here in my congressional office in Washington, D.C., just ending a call with the Kennedy Center, where I serve as an ex officio member. I am bringing this to you live today because what you may hear is that there was a unanimous vote to rename the Kennedy Center the Trump Center. Be clear, I was on that call, and as I tried to push my button to voice my concern, to ask questions, and certainly not to vote in support of this, I was muted. Each time I tried to speak, I was muted. Participants were not allowed to voice their concerns who were online. Yet it was said at the end, it was a unanimous vote. Clearly, the Congress has a say in this. This center, the Kennedy Center, was created by the Congress. I think it's important for us to know that this is just another attempt to evade the law and not let the people have a say. As a strong supporter of the arts, as someone during my entire time here in Congress, I have participated in the Kennedy Center's programs, and I salute all the artists who have performed there.
Now, here's what Judge Cooper says on page 1 to lead off his memorandum. And side note, how many times have I done a hot take or a video analysis in which I start with a judge leading off an order or opinion with a quote? Shakespeare, the founding fathers, the framers, Alexander Hamilton, the Constitution, a letter from George Washington, George Orwell in 1984, and now we've got JFK himself. It's a haunting tribute. It's also, I love the rhetorical flourish of using the now long deceased JFK against Donald Trump. He says that in November 1962, President John F. Kennedy and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy presided over an American pageant of the arts, which was televised. It was a fundraiser for the then National Cultural Center. That is what got its name changed to the Kennedy Center after the assassination. He said the event, I love he puts a little side note, the event had an impressive array of performers, unlike what's going on at the Kennedy Center now, including Robert Frost, the poet, right? The Road Divides in the Woods, singer Harry Belafonte, and a 7-year-old Yo-Yo Ma playing the cello. Oh, yeah. And this is what President Kennedy said. See if you can figure out why Judge Cooper leads off with this quote. Art knows no national boundaries. Genius can speak in any tongue, and the entire world will hear it and listen. Behind the storm of daily conflict and crisis, the dramatic confrontations, the tumult of political struggle, the poet, the artist, the musician continues the quiet work of centuries, building bridges and experience between peoples, reminding man of the universality of his feelings and desires and despairs, and reminding him that the forces that unite are deeper than those that divide. I am certain, JFK said, that after the dust of centuries has passed over our cities, we, too, will be remembered not for victories or defeats in battle or in politics, but for our contribution to the human spirit. He quotes JFK later on about political battles. He says in his order, Congress chose to honor President Kennedy's commitment to the arts following his assassination. It is a living memorial, the sole one dedicated to the late president in the Washington, D.C. area, and has been for the last 50 years. In the words, he says on page 90 to end his order, in the words of President Kennedy, artists do the quiet work of centuries behind the storm of daily conflict and crisis. They entertain, they educate, and they move us. They sustain us through oncoming tides of joy and despair. And so the institutions that nurture and empower artists are nothing short of integral to our social fabric. The Kennedy Center is one of the foremost of those institutions. The Kennedy Center is, legally speaking, a trust, instrumentality belonging to the American people, governed by a board of trustees. The board must make sure that the Kennedy Center is in good repair, but also must make sure that the center fulfill statutory directives related to arts programming, education, and community outreach, memorializing the slain president. They have failed to do that, the judge says. They have violated their trustee duties in various ways. And here's what he says on page 91 of his order after going through the various facts, procedural history, and facts of the case of how Trump captured the Kennedy Center, captured its board, threw them out in the street, appointed all new people, including the wives of everybody in his cabinet, threw out and gagged, bound and gagged and muted Congresswoman Beatty, refused to listen to her without any record, without any proper deliberation or thought, voted, because Trump said it was a preordained decision, voted to shut down the Kennedy Center, all in violation of their trustee duties. Here's what the court said. The court has concluded that, this is on page 91, that the board overstepped its authority by renaming the Kennedy Center after President Trump. The Kennedy Center board's decision to rename the center along with its decision to affix President Trump's name to the building, violate the congressional mandate, period. The board also overstepped its statutory bounds by unilaterally stripping an ex officio trustee, that's Beatty, of any right to vote on trust matters. Finally, the court is preliminarily persuaded that the March 16 vote to close the center for a 2 years long renovation represents a dereliction of the trustee's common law derived duty of prudence. See, when you have fiduciary duty, that means one person is in a position of trust to benefit a second person who's the beneficiary of that trust, if you will, the recipient of that trust, usually in a power imbalance position. And that trustee has duties if they're going to be on the board, a board of commission, a board of electors, a board of a board of a company, right? A company board, or here a board of trustees. Particularly board of trustees. They have the duty to be prudent, to make decisions not based on their own pecuniary interests, but on the interest of the public in this case. And they have to abide by that. And that has been violated. The judge said, if you want to go back and rethink this with a proper record and then have somebody make the decision with Beatty participating that this should be shut down for 2 years and there's no other way around it, then I'll listen to it. But for now, the knee-jerk reaction after Trump effectively ordered you to do it and it was preordained. In fact, here's a clip of Trump basically saying the decision's already been made before the vote happened. Play the clip.
Probably around $200 million. And, it's funny, in real estate and building, I've done so much of it. I've done so well with it. You want to sit with something for a little while before you decide on what you want to do. And, we sat with it. We ran it. It's in very bad shape. It's run down. It's dilapidated. It's sort of dangerous. Things fall out of ceilings. You've seen it. And we had some big events there. We had a lot of great events there over the last year. But you can't do any work because people are coming in and out. And you have the workmen. We have a marble man over there the other day. He said, every time I put down a piece of marble, people are stepping on the marble. They don't even have time to dry. And you can't do the same quality job if you close it. And, we're fully financed. And so we're going to close it and we're going to make it unbelievable, far better than it ever was. And we'll be able to do it properly. I was thinking maybe there's a way of doing it simultaneously, but there really isn't. And we're going to have something that when it opens, it's going to be brand new, beautiful. I'm not ripping it out. I'll be using the steel. So we're using the structure. We're using some of the marble and some of the marble comes down. But when it's open, it'll be brand new and really beautiful. It'll be at the highest level.
Hey everybody, Ben Meiselas here from the MeidasTouch Network. I wanted to let you know about my podcast partner, Michael Popok's new law firm. It's called the Popok Firm. Michael Popok's pursuing his dream of starting his own law firm, really based on the popular demand by all the Meidas Mighty and legal AFers who are approaching Michael Popok with their cases and saying, can you help us? And at that time, Popok was not able to. So he went out on his own. He started the Popok Firm, where he is now handling catastrophic injury cases like car accident cases, trucking cases, malpractice cases, big negligence cases, wrongful death cases. So if you or someone you know have a case like this, the consultation with Popok's firm is free. Give him a call. See if you have a case. It's thepopokfirm.com, thepopokfirm.com, or you can call 877-POPOK-AF, P-O-P-O-K-A-F. So 1-877-POPOK-AF. Give Michael Popok a call. And I'm really proud of you, Popok. Thanks for all the hard work you're putting in.
Here's how the judge summarized it. He's not going to get into micromanaging this institution. He says, by way of opinion, on page 92, the court does not purport to dictate how the center should be run, nor does it prescribe any particular plan for the institution, construction, closure, or otherwise, moving forward. It simply holds that the Kennedy Center Board It simply holds the Kennedy Center Board to certain minimum requirements imposed by law. Beyond that, the court will let the parties play on. That is his judgment. He's issued an order. Top line of it is obvious. permanent block of Trump's name on the Kennedy Center. That alone should get Donald Trump hot and bothered to take an appeal, I am sure. Block the attempt to change the bylaws and to ditch Beatty and all the ex officio members and take away their right to vote. Preliminarily blocked, at least until a proper record is developed, the shutdown scheduled for July. Could still happen, but the judge wants to be convinced based on record evidence that the board was prudent in its decision-making. And if it's not, he's going to block it again, I assure you. This is not the last we've heard of Judge Cooper or concerning the Kennedy Center or Donald Trump's attempt to disgrace it with his name. We'll continue to follow it all right here. You're on the MeidasTouch Network and Legal AF. Again, come over to Legal AF YouTube channel. Boom, hit the free subscribe button. Until my next report, this is Michael Popok.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.